So Mega Evolution booster boxes have just skyrocketed to $330. Now we are just a few days away from the official release of this set, and prices have gone up. You can see it was just at $273. Now, about a week later, we're at $330. This is sort of an anomaly because usually when you get closer to the official release day of a set, prices don't really tend to go up and skyrocket. I mean, it's gone up $60 from a week ago, and we are a few days away from the set release. Usually, prices at this point have started to stabilize, maybe slightly dip down because more people have listed, but this is not the case for Mega Evolution. Prices have gone up. And considering, Mega Evolution, I mean, I've said this a million times before, but it's a base set. Seeing a booster box just before being released at $330 is quite ridiculous. Also, thinking about the fact that Destin Rivals booster boxes, it was crazy that it was at $240, $250 at release, but we are seeing a base set booster box beat it by about $80. And Destin Rivals was hyped up for a whole year. It is getting scary, guys. This market, things are starting to not really make much sense, and it does seem a little bit scary with how fast and how high prices really are. I am an investor, right? I do believe this market is strong, right? But it's getting a little bit sketchy. It's even me saying that. It's getting kind of sketchy. Now, I'm not saying this is all artificial pumping or any of that, but it feels sketchy. It feels like we're sort of walking on like ice because the prices are just so, in my opinion, outrageously high. It just feels weird. So this probably is setting the record of being the most expensive booster box. If it releases at this price, because I don't think any booster box. I think Destin Rivals before was the most expensive one that was released, and I think this is going to top the cake here at $330. So you can see all these other people listed are at $330. Unless we see somebody dump prices a few days before being released, it may just release at this price point, and there's been a few sales at this price. So pretty crazy that these booster boxes are this expensive, but you also have to consider a fact with this set. It's being released in waves, so we're not getting all the supply, I guess, in the first few weeks. I don't know when the second wave is, but that is also something to consider, maybe possibly why the prices are higher than Destin Rivals. But if you actually go on eBay, you can find these for cheaper. You can buy them for $275. That's basically the lowest you're going to find anywhere. $275 is the lowest. So you are saving about $60 per booster box. So when you do the math on that, it's a pretty good savings. But $330 is already a crazy price. How much will they drop after release? It's kind of hard to say. But $275, you are saving $60 per booster box. So it's something to consider. You're getting $6 on the market. I mean, $275 is at a good price point for you. It's hard to say at this point because the set isn't even released yet. But hey, I'll say the same thing I said with Destin Rivals. If you don't know where the bottom is, which we don't know because the set's not released yet, buying a few boxes, if it's not going to break your bank, might not be the worst idea ever. If you want to buy some and just have something just in case it skyrockets, which it already has, buying a few boxes, if it doesn't break your bank, it won't hurt you because worst case scenario, let's say it drops to 220, 230, which who knows if that's even possible. If you buy just a couple boxes and you buy like a case or two at 220 a box, well, your average cost is not going to be affected by that much if you only bought a few boxes at 275. So that's my take on buying at this price point. Just if you're going to buy and you're skeptical but you want this set, buy a few boxes. It's not going to hurt you. Now, if you want cases are going for about $1,800, so it's about $300 a booster box, which is now actually under the individual market price per booster box. So you technically are saving money. Now, there's a few places listing for like $1,600, but these are kind of more smaller sellers, so I don't know how much of a risk you want to take with that. But more reputable sellers are selling them for about $300 a booster box in a case. Now, what's actually interesting is that for a while, normal booster boxes were going for a premium over the enhanced ones. It seems like the enhanced ones are the more common ones. But at this point, the non-enhanced ones are actually cheaper than the enhanced ones. Now, I don't know if this is going to continue. I don't know if people listing under this one are listing enhanced boxes and they're just listing under the normal one. But as for right now, it is cheaper to buy on TCG Player the normal Mega Evolution booster box, the non-enhanced one. Now, I did show you guys this listing before previously. I believe, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? You could have bought a case for $1,500. It was $250 per booster box, and the deal's gone now. So hopefully you guys took advantage if you watched that video. And yeah, so just looking at the card prices right now for Mega Evolution, they're pretty much the exact same as I showed you guys in the previous video talking about Mega Evolution. The Gardevoir Gold is still selling for about $700. The Lucario is selling for about $700 to $800. The Gardevoir is selling for about $450 to $500. The Lucario is selling about $400 to $500. The Venusaur is selling for about $300. And lastly here, Lily's Determination is selling about $400. So guys, I don't know at this point what to say with Mega Evolution. I'm kind of skeptical, but at the same time, I mean, just based on how this market's performing, I doubt it's going to crash in price. But $330, obviously market price is pretty ridiculous. But $275, I would say, is not terrible. But it still goes back to the whole thing I've said with this set. It is kind of weird to me because this is a base set, and I still can't get that out of my mind that this is a base set. It's like a base set booster box for $330 market price. Like, something about that doesn't feel right to me. But when I actually look at this set, I look at the artworks, I look at what this set provides, it's the best base set, at least modern base set, we've ever seen. It's better than Scarlet and Violet base. I mean, let's be honest here. So it's really hard to say what is a good buy at this point, like seriously. But I'm very skeptical, and if you're asking, have you bought any yet? I personally have not. I've told you guys, I'd rather buy Phantasmal Flames. If I'm going to buy a booster box anywhere near 300, I'm probably going to stick with Phantasmal just because Charizard, Gengar, because it still sticks with me that this is a base set, even though it's a very good one. I'm very skeptical. I mean, guys, Destined Rivals, I was skeptical at buying at $220 a booster box, and Destined Rivals was hyped for so long, and I knew it was going to perform, but $220 to me was already ridiculous. So you can imagine my perspective on buying a base set booster box when the market price is $330. It seems kind of sketchy, but at this rate, guys, I mean, especially this is a wave release, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes 400 plus. But it's ridiculous how this stuff is right now. And for me, like I said, because it's a base set, I am skeptical, and I'd rather just miss out on this set. I'm completely fine missing out on the base set, even though it is a good one. And I'd rather put my money in, if I was going to take a risk and buy at a high price point, I'd put it on a Charizard Gengar set. That's just me. But like I said, if you want to buy at $275, it's really, at this point in the market, not that bad. Pick up a few boxes if it's not going to break your bank, so that, you know, like I said, worst case scenario, maybe sometime in the future it drops to low twos, then you can just buy in, and if you buy a lot more at a lower cost, your average cost is not going to be affected by your couple booster boxes you paid in the high twos. So just want to talk about this, guys. Mega Evolution seems very hyped up. We'll see how it is, you know, received after being released. After a few weeks, I'll definitely keep up to date with, you know, how the market is behaving after the set is released. But based on what we're seeing here, I mean, this base set is going to be very expensive, card-wise, price-wise, seemingly, based on what we're seeing here. And yeah, it's really hard to really determine where prices will be for this booster box. We're really going to have to see how pull rates are and all those sorts of things to get a good gauge of, okay, if these cards are, you know, stay very expensive after a few weeks, booster boxes, if they're $330 now, I mean, they're probably going to keep going up, especially with this wave release. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you guys picked up any of those booster box cases that I showed in the last previous video where I talked about Mega Evolution, because they were $1,500, and now booster boxes are going for $330. So if you buy them at $1,500, you paid $250 per booster box, and you got a case. So that's all I want to talk about in this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.